I want to just say about anyone who's been experiencing like any kind of shame, whether it be in pregnancy or postpartum or their birth story didn't go as they wanted or whatever. Um, you didn't pick it. You did the very best with what you had to work with at that time. And there is nothing more admirable than just doing your very best.
My story is just my story.
Just that. Hey, everybody. We've had some of the most incredible guests coming to you these past couple of months. The amount of expertise and knowledge on these cutting edge topics is something we really hope that you enjoy. And if you do, it would make a huge difference to us if you could rate, review, and subscribe the podcast. It helps us to get more guests, better experts, and talk about all of the things that are really important to you. So give us a love, give us a lot of love, and don't forget to subscribe so you get all our new episodes.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Thick.
No.
What?
No.
What?
That's not how we do things around here. I do the welcome backs now.
No, you don't.
Listen, why I'm going to tell you, because I have this whole compilation of welcome. I had in my mind, I was going to be like, oh, I have a very special guest for you today. And it was a whole thing.
All right, well, hit your whole thing. Everyone close your eyes, ears.
We're starting over.
Make your eyes too if you're watching on YouTube.
We're starting over.
Hey, run it back. You know what? Sit down, everyone. We're practicing again.
Take a seat. Okay, you take a seat. Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Thick Thighs Save Lives podcast. Guess who I have with me today? Oh, that didn't go as that's not the voice I wanted.
Well, it was a little high pitched, but I still felt the energy from it.
Guess who's here?
There
Maybe
you
we could
go.
just edit that out. Guess who's back? And then I had like a welcome back. I don't know. I just know that part.
Welcome back. I don't think anyone knows the rest of that song. We can't think of other ones right now.
She's going back to the podcast. Like, you know, just like a couple
words.
Just a couple songs right there, I feel like would really do it.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that.
She's back.
Guess what? So I had this whole
baby.
I had a baby. And I had this whole one. I brought this whole human into the world, which is really weird when you think about it. Like, you transport a soul onto the planet.
Here you go.
What the hell? But I had this idea on my first time back. I was like, I got my hair done last week, so it was going to be like nice and done. And I haven't washed it since I got it done. And since in the middle of the night, I was like, tomorrow morning is the morning, gonna do it. And then I was like, I can't do it.
So
it was my thought, though.
A ton of momming, in my opinion, has to do with intentions. Really good intentions.
Yeah. You know what?
The execution,
son's still alive.
Yeah, it doesn't. You know, it's.
I really like to go back to that.
I feel so strong about intentions being just the start of all great things, and so you know, the intention was there, and I'm here for that.
You know what I really like to go back to? Rewind. Remember the guest that we had on the podcast who had the sleeping baby through the entire podcast, and she looked fabulous. She wore a hat. I understand the hat now.
But we thought it was for style.
And I was like, great style.
Oh my God.
But I understand.
Like, I got no hair. My baby took it. My baby took my hair.
All right, let's start with that, though. Like, I don't know if we're going to do 10 things, but that they don't tell you is going to happen postpartum.
I did tell you.
You know what? I think Jess did too, but I blacked out because I was pregnant and I didn't want to hear it, because I feel that information coming in that sounds like this while you're pregnant, you're going to push a watermelon out of your vagina into the world, and it might just like crack every organ. It feels like you're going to
Maybe.
break every bone in your body at the same time, right? And then you're going to have this postpartum situation where there's bleeding, there's cramping, you have to put ice in, and then your hair is going to fall out. I felt like
It's
that just didn't like that was information that my brain was like trauma.
anytime anybody speaks to you and when you're pregnant about all of the things that they really do, they just want you to be prepared for, because otherwise, like, there's the shock value of like, I didn't know that XYZ, right, was part of it. And so people are just trying to help you avoid that shock value. But when they say these things when you're pregnant, it's just womp, 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 womp. It's just like incoming doom. Like, there's
Yes.
only so much incoming doom you can hear about it.
Your traumatic brain is like, "No, no, the hair shedding, I'm not accepting that information." Like, that's where it went too far for
So
me.
you see the underwear that you have to wear, and you just go like, well, I guess hair shedding is just the least of my problems right now.
But I just feel like what a cruel like, don't you feel like that's exceptionally cruel? Like, all your organs are gonna rearrange to create this baby, like, this house, like, all of these things, and then it's like, "Bonus, your hair is gonna fall out."
The incredible human body that can do this can't just retain the hair. Like, you haven't, evolutionary wise, you haven't figured that one out. You
We
can
haven't
move
got that one.
organs, but the hair has to go. Okay.
Has to
Well,
go. Alright.
well,
Cool.
I mean, listen, all of the things they're all there, but there's that little baby though.
But also there's that little baby and all of
Have
a
you guys
sudden
seen him? Do you wanna do his introduction?
Kobe's. So, I had a son. I know we didn't know it was gonna be a boy or a girl. I had a son,
Psychotic.
Kobe Quinn, Hellier Boggs, and he entered this earth at 7 pounds, 2 ounces of pure perfection. His head is perfect.
He has a perfect head.
Yeah, which is like a weird thing, but it's so perfect, and he's just like the
He
greatest
could
thing
be a
ever.
head model.
He could be a head model,
For
like,
real.
this is so perfect.
You see pictures of him, you're like, "That head though.
I
Wow."
know. Well, as soon as he came out, that's what the midwife and the doula was like, "Wow, look at his perfect head." And at the moment, anyone who's given childbirth knows that you just kind of see these things from above because
Yeah,
like that's you're not actually like there. You
outer
could
body.
play them back later, but you're like, well, I was watching that from another room, right? Like
Outer body.
outer body experience. So I remember hearing that and being like, well, that's weird. Like, but now that I'm like referencing back to it, I'm like, yeah, he does have such a perfect head, but he's amazing.
So, okay, over, under, or alright, let's do it this way. Harder than you thought, easier than you thought, exactly how you expected it to be. Ready?
Uh,
Pregnancy.
Pregnancy, easier than I thought.
Okay. Childbirth.
Harder. Undoubtedly harder. There's nothing in this entire planet that could explain. I'm sorry for anyone who's listening that is currently pregnant because you shouldn't listen to this part.
They're
Trigger
hearing
warning.
womp, 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 womp. That's what they're
Trigger,
hearing, don't worry.
trigger warning. Fast forward through this. No one could ever explain to you what that is going to feel like because there is no possible comparison. Now, the people who try to compare that to kidney stones to just like try to make men feel better, like they're included. So we
You're
found this
not
on. You're
included.
not included.
You're not in it.
Like,
There's a club and you're not in it.
and
And
you're
let me
not
tell
in
you
it.
something. You don't want to be, because that is
You do not want to be. Okay. I'm glad I didn't read this while I was pregnant, but I was like, postpartum, I was like, that was something. Like, has anyone tried to explain what this felt like? And the only comparison truly that this that the studies have found, studying the brain and like the amount of pain that you go through, is the equivalent to burning alive.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, well, you probably didn't want to.
Oh.
Like, burning alive. That's the only pain equivalent that they've been
Oh.
able to come to terms with.
Oh.
So mamas.
Air high five.
Listen, if you don't go around, first of all, I feel strongly now that you need to remind your child on a regular basis what you went through to bring them into this world,
Oh,
because they
every
need
day.
to know. They need to know.
Let them
You know what?
know.
They get smart with you. Do you know what I had to do?
Have you ever burned alive?
Yeah. So shut the TV off.
Shut the TV off.
And also, just like, I feel like every woman, and maybe I just like, I admired women prior to childbirth, but there's a whole nother level of like, are you walking around being like, I gave birth? Sit down and shut up. I gave birth.
The ultimate clap. It's the ultimate clap. No one can say anything to you. You're just like,
No.
yeah, but did you give birth? Because
I
I
created a
know.
whole new life. Like, I'm a
Ugh.
goddess. Like, I just feel that people really need to, they need to know. They need to know the thing.
All right, I have one more.
Yep.
Easier than you thought, harder than you thought, about the same as what you thought it was going to be. Having an infant.
Easier than I thought.
He's a really good baby. I just want to say,
And
he's
I know
not the
everyone's
greatest sleeper. Well, I mean, we can get into it. But he is a very, very, very sweet baby. He has a very lovely temperament. I mean, not all babies, and this isn't like a,
Knock.
yeah, it's not a knock to any, because everybody comes in with their own personalities.
Yes.
But every mother knows, some babies are a little bit more difficult than others. And he's a good mood dude. He could sleep better.
He could
But-
certainly sleep better.
But he has a lovely disposition.
Yeah, he definitely does. I also feel for mamas who had colicky babies.
Mm-hmm.
And some, like, just speaking to other moms, had colicky babies and didn't know it at the time. And then they look back on it and they say, like, my baby cried all the time. I had a colicky baby and I just didn't even know.
Yeah.
Because there's just, you're just trying to figure out everything. But I think that I had built, and this is kind of like an unpopular opinion, because there are definitely days where I'm like, whoa, harder. But overall, I had built up to having an infant in my mind to be something that, like, I was gonna be like almost impossible and like I couldn't do, and like
You were a big, like, I'm unqualified type of, yeah. You had a lot of imposter syndrome about momming.
For sure. And I said that, like, long before I was pregnant. I was like, man, that's like the people who are like willy-nilly, like, oh, I'm gonna have a baby, I'm be a mom. I was like,
You sure about that?
You sure about that?
You sure
about that?
Like, that just seems like the hardest thing, and it is hard to say, but like it was a very big, like, daunting kind of cloud for me. And turns out maternal instincts are a thing.
Oh, man.
And I will tell you guys, I think it was about 3 weeks before my due date, or like when I gave birth. And because now all of that's a big blur.
I told you.
I went to a friend's house and she had just had her baby. And I didn't want to hold the infant. And I left there and I was like texting my mom and I was like texting you. And
Yep.
I was like, I don't think I
Send it back.
Yeah, I was like,
I can't even hold my friend's new baby. You got to send this back because I can't do it. I don't know how to hold a baby.
Yeah, I was like, he was so little. looking back, he was a gigantic baby. He was like 9 pounds, like Jesus. But he seemed so little in that moment, and I was like, I didn't even like want to hold him. I was like nervous to hold him, and this is weeks. I'm 9 months pregnant. This is weeks away from having my own baby, and I don't want to hold an infant. And I was like, wow, maternal instincts are not there. This feels like a red flag.
Is anybody else seeing this?
Like, I was red flagging myself.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because I had like so much fear and like, would I be scared to hold my own baby? Okay, he comes out, I birth him. I like roll over and I just scooped him up like right away.
Hey, come here, you.
Yeah.
Come
Like,
here, you.
because he wasn't like a baby.
Hey, nice to meet you.
He was like part of me. It wasn't like I was holding a baby. It was I was holding my baby, but like he was just like an extension of me. So it was just like a different experience than I had like thought, because people were like, well, they won't that doesn't mean you don't have maternal instincts. And I was like, I don't know, you don't know me.
Yeah. You don't know me. How crazy. No, I think that's it's another one of those things that you can't really explain, and people have tried and they do try, especially to like nervous first time moms.
Yeah.
Like, no, just trust, like it's gonna be. But I think that that's a really similar to the lovely other paradox you drew this episode with fire. I think that's actually a really close explanation to how it feels. It's not a baby, it's a part of you, so you don't feel nervous when you're
to pick up my
handling
arm,
yourself.
my heart. Like
it's right, it's just so I think that's a really good way to explain it, and also relatable AF.
You know what the other thing is too? You don't know love until you have a baby. I disagree. I don't feel like this is love. I feel like this is something different. Like I wouldn't even describe it like as love. It's like this, it's like way more intense.
So
like, what is that? Like love on steroids mixed with anxiety? Like it like
it's not the same, because love is elation. I don't know. And I guess everybody can define it different, but to me, love is this like elation, this like walking on the cloud nine, nothing can touch me, whatever.
Yes.
But like kids are like elation, but everything can touch me. And everything's a
while
threat.
You're holding your breath. Yes. It's like,
and
that doesn't, I was like, what is that? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I would draw the same like comparison. Like it doesn't, that's not love. Like it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm just in love.
Yeah.
And you have those moments.
Carefree.
Sure. Yes. But no, like you drive away, right? And you're like, why do I feel like I should just turn around? Going to the grocery store doesn't feel that important. Do we really need food?
Who needs to eat? We got all this breast milk. I mean, that's the only really person who matters. Everybody else.
You're like, and you're Kelsey, it's 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, I should probably just turn around. Or when other people hold him, and you're like,
I'll be right here. 1 foot from your face. You good? You good?
You need
you
me?
Good? Yeah, I'm here.
That's not love. That's psychotic.
I know. It's so psychotic. And I wish, see, maybe this will be a womp womp, but I wish I could tell you that gets better. Well, in other news, he's super healthy. He's super wonderful. You had an incredible, everybody loves a birth story. Can we?
Yeah. I've had a lot of
Do you
questions.
mind? Is it TMI or?
No. And
okay, cool.
But I do want to say, so some ladies in our community who have also been pregnant, at the same time, and one of them actually just gave birth the other day. A
Yay!
long time CBG community member. And I was like reading in on her birth story, and she was like continuing the comments, and I was like, here in the comments. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Everybody loves a birth story.
yeah.
It's so
And like
good.
continued another comment, and I was like, where is it? I can't
I'll
even
dig
help it.
deep. I'll dig
I'll
deep
dig
for a
deep.
birth story. I love them. I love them.
Lazy bones.
Nice entry back to that. Oh, that's an entry. I mean, I'm fine with it. I am super excited about today because today is the Lazy Bones Day. And wait, can we say that?
Well, we just did, and lazy bones is a vibe. So if you don't know about it, if you don't know now, you know. But if you don't know now, you need to get on the site right now and be able to get them for your purchase.
It's a surprise. It's a surprise. Don't tell anybody. It's just for you.
Okay, my birth story started off dramatic, as they all do.
Well,
I was 2 weeks overdue, overcooked. One of my best friends is currently pregnant right now, and she's 9 months, and she's like, I can't wait. She needs to come here every day, and she's not at her due date yet. And I was like, wow, I felt the opposite. I was like, keep cooking, you're not ready. Until I started feeling those pressures of outside sources for like, get him, he needs to come out now. But I was like, don't rush him. I felt like I was like fending everyone off. I was like, he's not ready. I wasn't at that point at the end of my pregnancy where I was just like, he needs to come out now. I was really feeling very strongly that he wasn't ready. And I felt like all of those intuitions were validated when he came out on the smaller side. He wasn't too big. My placenta was not like failing. It didn't have any calluses on it. I'm telling you guys about my placenta.
tell us more. Did you eat it?
I did eat it. Let's talk
Let's
about those weird things.
go.
Let's talk about these weird things. Because I want to tell you, a lot of people have asked what I tried to induce labor too. And I tried a bunch of things that I actually feel like really helped my labor. A couple that I feel like probably didn't, and a couple that I feel like really helped my delivery, as much as burning alive can help your I just want to reference back to that. As much as I'll say like it went well, like you guys understand.
It still went.
It still went. We had to do the thing.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks overdue, I was going to be kicked out of I gave birth at a birthing center, and once you hit 42 weeks, you are referred out to get induced because it's like the risks are getting higher. So it was that Sunday that I was going to be at midnight that I was going to be
Guys.
out.
Midnight that night.
That night, I gave birth that morning at 1:13 a.m. Because wait.
There he is.
Hello, buddy.
Oh, that gorgeous head.
Special guest appearance from my guy here. We're talking about you. You want to come say hi to the people in the podcast?
Hi, good morning,
Buddy. Did you just wake up from a nap?
Oh, that morning nap.
Yeah.
That is the best. The
Yeah.
mood they wake up in out of that one is my most favorite. What? What's all these lights?
All these lights. I mean, you wake up, you get all these lights, but still a good mood dude, you know?
Oh,
He's
I
a Florida boy.
love
He's got his
him.
shorts on.
Let's go.
He's just perfect. Thank you so much. Gigi takes care of him. You guys know Laurel. She's a legend.
Hey, Laurel the legend.
So gave birth that morning. Leading up to those days, okay, I tried acupuncture several times.
Yep.
I had massages, adjustments. I tried tinctures, different types of root that go into your water that is supposed to induce labor. I
Many
had
walks,
the
many
curb
long
walking.
walks. Yeah.
Wow. And I had started that prior to my due date too. So like at that point, like I was going on like the recommendation was like, if you could get a mile or more, go for it. So went in there and I said I did 3.5 miles, and she was like, okay, maybe less. So, like, because every recommendation I just did like 100%. Um, I had the manual, what is it called when they start the scraping to try to
Yep.
um which is a nightmare.
Yeah.
To try to
The things we do.
yeah, because they go in and start to just like manually scrape to get your cervix to start to dilate
Mm-hmm.
more. Um, and I did that 3 times prior to. So I was going every other day because we were really getting down to the wire, breast pumping. I tried everything, foot massages.
But wait,
And if anyone says like, "Did you try sex?" I did.
tried it. If anyone says anything in the blank, tried it, because like we were deep into the wives' tales, the like doctor recommendation. We were what Eastern medicine, Western medicine. We were like
All of it.
we were deep in,
Yes.
and
There's a flow that a yoga flow that's supposed to induce labor. Did it? I
you were
did.
sitting on the ball.
I was living on the
Yeah.
ball,
Mhm.
which my son loves.
Ironically.
Right. And I was man, everything. I did yoga. I had a meditation. The day I went into labor, the last thing I did before going into labor was a pre-labor meditation. Um, about 30 minutes after I was done with it, I started having contractions.
But also the castor oil.
Oh, the castor oil.
Don't
I'm telling
forget.
you, if you have a list of things, guys, that you think like, does this induce labor? I did all of them.
Yeah.
Because I did acupuncture 4 times before I went into labor.
Oh, he was
um
ready when he was ready.
he was ready
You
when he was
know?
ready. One
He
of
was
the
ready when he
things,
was
like,
ready.
I will say, okay, what are my favorite out of all of those things? Getting an adjustment. I am so glad I got an adjustment and body work the day before I went into labor. My hips were off, they were misaligned, which can so you want a clear path for baby to come through, obviously, and having your hips just a little bit off can create some friction with that path and essentially make labor more difficult or stop.
Or impossible. Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah. That's where like the shoulder dysplasia comes into. Sometimes babies get stuck with their shoulders. Sometimes you need to dislocate their shoulders to get them through. None of that happened with me. I was prepared for those things because anyone who's given birth knows that like all the things so that you can kind of like try and figure it out, not when you're in excruciating pain, um, like beforehand. So I'm very glad I did get an adjustment and some body work because I think that it set the space for him to be able to get through a lot better than if I hadn't done. So things worked out in their way that they were going
It
to.
makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
complete sense.
Yeah, for sure. So if for anyone thinking about it, I would say like that was one of the things. I don't know if acupuncture really helped, but definitely getting massage and body work was amazing. And I had been doing all of the teas and stuff for like 6 weeks prior to giving birth because I was really like setting it off like
And
ahead
the
of time.
prunes.
Oh my God, dates.
Date. Oh, I thought
6 dates a day.
that was aggressive. That
I
was aggressive.
started at 31 weeks, 6 dates a day. I don't want dates ever again.
Well, you know, it's It'll be a while.
It
Yeah.
softens. It's supposed to soften your cervix. Well, I did my meditation, castor oil, went for a walk, uneven walk, did the yoga flow, this is all things that happened on the day.
Because it was gonna be
It was,
midnight.
yeah,
So I mean, we were at that point, we were throwing everything at the wall
everything
that
possible.
you had. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so did the meditation, and when I got up from my meditation though, the castor oil made me really sick, which it does for a lot of people. So I started out labor being very sick. Um, my stomach was just unhappy. But also in a lot of ways, I'm glad it cleared everything out because it didn't happen during labor.
I mean, you win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some. And it worked its way through so fast that there was like no meconium, which is kind of the concern if,
Especially late babies. Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
that you don't want that to happen during labor. So I started having contractions, got in the tub, had candles, tub. I love a good just hot bath. I I almost lived in the bath. I didn't want to get out. My contractions were getting super close together and it was time for us to leave. And I was like, no, I'm not getting out of this bath. Which
Is there
was
any way we can take the can we so like if I stay here and then yeah, I know. Because
stay
the last thing you want to do is move.
get in the car.
Oh, I know. Well, the idea is always like I want to stay home for as long as possible, and you're like you're committed to that, and that's awesome. But then when you're in the transitionary phase where you're getting to be out of control and the pain is starting to get like really scary, then that's when someone tells you to get in the car. It's just like,
So that's exactly
ugh,
it. You hit it right on the head. You're like, well, this is getting out of control. There's no way I could move. Um, and then you have to get in the car and you're like, that is you're wild. You're wild.
yeah.
And
I hear what you're saying. I hear the
I
words, but
that's
are you? Do you see me?
And like prior to going into labor, you think like, okay, yeah, you want to wait as long as possible, but you don't realize that the transitions with like, 600 meters, like wherever you're at, are really intense. And how could you possibly move? And we had about a 40-minute drive ahead of us to get to my center. And my mom and Matt were both timing the contractions, and I progressed really quickly. So I started having contractions and then they were just getting really close together very fast. Like I had my son with, I think it was like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Like he,
From first contraction, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm, mhm. That
Um,
must be just our family. Well, not Layla, but
Not Layla. Not
she was she was a real slow labor.
yeah. Oh my God. That was a long time, but it progressed quickly. So when he was texting my doula and my midwife, they were like, "Are you sure? Time it again." Like blah, blah, blah. And he was like, "No, like this is how long this has been going on for these contractions being so close together." Like, okay, get her here. So by the time I got there, I was at 8 centimeters, which was like great to hear and also scary. It was one of those.
Well, 8 to 10, that transitionary period is the breaker for most people.
That
Yeah.
was a wild ride.
0 to 8 is like, wow, this is really hard. I'm not sure this really hurts. And then 8 to 10 is you go to La La Land. Goodbye. You're not in your body and
Goodbye.
you can't do this.
Yeah.
So somebody else better figure out how to get this done. Cause like me, I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is not it.
I know. So that's I would love to say that I was just like so brave and it was just super awesome. I did have a natural birth, but I was definitely trying to opt out at the end. I was definitely, yeah, I don't want to fool you guys. Like, I was definitely like, okay, tap, tap. Could we sub someone
I'm
else
out.
in?
I'm out. I gotta go.
Like, this is unbearable. Like, I'm done. And also, I was trying to negotiate when the contractions could start again. I'm not ready. As if that was making a difference.
Don't you dare. I think I
Don't,
screamed.
yeah, because that's a really valid point.
Yeah. Don't you dare.
And I looked at her, I said, I could feel it start to build again. I said, no, I'm not ready. And she was like, hold on, Kelsey. And I was like, no,
How dare you?
you start to feel it build up again, and you just came down from the last one.
That's not fair. It
That's
just seems
not
not
fair.
fair. It seems not right.
That's not right. That's not right.
And
Mm.
and yeah, how dare you?
How
Yeah.
dare you?
Yeah, because they can see on the monitor when another one is coming.
Well, I
And so they
didn't.
try to warn you, but
Yeah.
that just makes you mad.
I've heard about that too with people watching it come up. So, my experience was like I didn't have a monitor on the entire time. She only came in to monitor baby's heart rate just to make sure we were like he was doing okay through labor. He did great. His heart rate never dropped. He was never under like as much as anyone could tell, never under any duress or stress. And he was only in the birth canal for such a short period of time, which is why he has such a round head. He stayed, my water never broke. So he stayed in his nice little water sack.
That's best case. Do you know you did too? Mom
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but it causes a lot of, for anyone whose water also didn't break, oh my God, the pressure and pain and
Yeah.
burning that comes from the it's pushing down, and it's bigger than baby, right? So like it
Right.
just is pushing everything down. So that's when I started throwing up. Were you guys hoping for this like beautiful magical
Get the bucket.
story when you're like, and then I just like breathed through it, and it was just like the breathing, and it was like, no, then I told them I wanted to get out of here, and then I started puking, and
Yeah.
then as much as magical that could be, I got in the tub, and then I felt like there was a ton of pressure. I got out, and then I started throwing up because which I didn't even think I had anything left to throw up.
It's so weird because it's like the amount of just like stress and like what you think your body can possibly take.
Yeah.
And then you just keep going over that threshold with new things. And like the puking is just the icing on the cake. It's just like, how, yeah, you're going to puke now. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Which you're exactly right though. You're like, no, I've reached the threshold of what could possibly be anything. And then
but
it's
then
like,
there's more.
and then there's more, and then you were starting to build up another contraction, and you're like, is that even,
Am I going to die?
am I gonna die,
Yeah.
is really what I thought. I just want to say I did have like an amazing team. I One thing that I would say to anyone is like, I would never go to give birth without a doula. She was an A player. She was so calm. She stuck to what I wanted.
Even when you weren't no longer in
And
the building.
yes, even when I didn't want what I wanted, she did.
No, it's what we want.
I was like,
No, we don't.
I was like, no, we don't. She was a really like calm voice above, because you're for me, I had a midwife who was doing the delivery, so she's basically like the baby catcher, right? But she's the baby catcher. But they're really concerned with things like what's a baby's heart rate, what's like, what am I doing, how's my body responding, things like that, where like your doula really comes in to provide some alternatives for you. Like she started using some kind of an essential oil near my face. I don't know if it was sage. I could smell it, and it just added another sense to kind of take me away from what was happening right then. And that like was really helpful in the moment.
Well, everybody, it should be a one-to-one ratio for people.
Yeah.
People involved in this. There's a baby and there's me. So like
Yeah.
it's kind of like everybody's focus being on the baby is wonderful and important, but also like
There's
I might die.
I
Does
might die.
anybody care?
So if
Like,
we could figure that out. And she
yeah,
came
and
in with
having someone for you is like monitoring your well-being and your health, and I think that that's a really good ratio.
balance, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. She came in with some counter pressure too, which I felt like was a a game changer. We had practiced this before going in. Me and Matt had practiced this before going in, so he knew how to do the counter pressure. It helps your hips open when you're experiencing contractions, so they're kind of coming in and pressing on your hips because and when I say like your body's ripping apart, anyone who's given birth knows exactly what I'm talking about. Your body is tearing apart. And someone who comes in and holds, it almost like it feels like it's like holding you together,
Mhm.
is it felt like a game changer. So he was doing that before she got there. And he did a great job with it. But she's a professional.
Yeah. Step aside, sir. There's a woman here.
She's a professional, and she came in and really had this like touch that was really helpful during that. And I know a lot of people have different feels on where their partner should be. Should they be down there? Should be he was up top with me. um there's no need to be down there.
I don't even wanna know. Why would you? I don't wanna know.
I don't even want to know. I will say being strong was a game changer when it came to pushing and just endurance. Even though my labor wasn't that long, I was like the endurance was definitely there. Once they so I like we came time to pushing, she showed me where to push, like, with some tactical feedback, like this is where you want to push. The next one, I got him to the end, and then there was only one more. And I remember this happening because she told me where to push. The next contraction, I pushed, and then everyone in the room started laughing. I'm on the edge of death, right?
You people.
I
What's
looked
funny?
around. I looked around like, what was it? And that was really good. They were just like really surprised with how much progress, like how strong I was, to be able to push him down because like once I got the hang of what muscles should be pushing, he was out the next one. So they were laughing like it was, and Tina, my doula, was like, "We're not laughing at you. That was just really good. Like that was incredible." And I was like, "What are these people talking about?
Who are you?
You
Who
monsters!
even are you?
You monsters!"
I wanna go home.
I was like,
Somebody else do the
and
rest.
at that point, I was just saying, like, "Get him out of here." And I didn't even know
Yeah.
it was a boy, but I did say that because I
Ooh.
knew.
I
Yeah.
did too, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
quick interruption, guys. We are always talking about the importance of community to help you along your journey, to keep you motivated, to surround you with like-minded people. And we have a massive, massive community to do just that. If you haven't already, get in our fitness group on Facebook, Fitness Programming by CVG. Get on our app, CVG Nation. We've got hundreds of thousands of women on there who are just waiting to cheer you on. And we cannot wait to meet you. Get with us on our channels. We love to see you there.
So he came out, started crying right away. It was a wild experience. I got to do, the golden hour skin to skin right away. And Matt got to say it's a boy, this is his name. We did like delayed cord clamping for the full time. Like if you let it all drain out till the cord is white, and then it's a really good thing for the baby, which I was really lucky because a lot of people either have a short umbilical cord that they can't really do that, or sometimes in hospitals they just cut it right away. But so I was really lucky in that sense. But I do want to just say this, like my birth went as planned. Well, I didn't mean to quote birth. I didn't mean to air bunny birth because it was birth. But like as planned is my air bunnies, because that was what I planned um to do. But I just want to say that there's a mix of preparation in there and like luck um that come together, because I do think that like the preparation was like it was there. I was eating my dates. I did my massages. I got my adjustments, like to be able to make everything like as great as I could to get baby through, to get Kobe earthside. But there's so many women that have, like, I know we talked to Brianna Battles, who had a similar experience. A woman from our community had a similar experience. She had such a healthy pregnancy. Um, and I don't want to share her pregnancy story without, I'm just going to like a little bit overview. She birth didn't go as planned as she wanted it to, and she had like very long labor, and it didn't go as she wanted it. She wasn't able to have a natural birth in the end. Um, but you got your baby earthside. Like you got your baby earthside, and that's the most important thing. And there's just some things that like are out of our control when it comes to bringing a new life into this world. Like if we could just step back and think about how crazy that is, whether it went as planned or didn't go as planned for you, or you have, some like regrets or shame. A lot, being postpartum, I think a lot of women have said, like, well, I gained this, I wasn't able to lose it. It's like your body created a whole new life. And how incredible that is. The fact that we are distracted by what our body looks like after that, and don't get me wrong, I've struggled with things like hair loss and just acclimating to my new body, and trying to figure out breastfeeding has been a journey. It's an episode in itself. Because
Ongoing.
whoa. Whoa, and add to the anxiety of not knowing how much your baby is getting. You're sitting there and I'm the only thing keeping you alive, and I don't know if you're getting enough. Like,
Well, what you're alluding to about well laid plans and the best intentions. Wow, we really came back full circle on that one.
yeah.
Is you know what? I'm gonna just here's another piece of great bad news. That doesn't stop either. So the pregnancy is sort of the first, like, this is the kind of pregnancy I want to have, and like
Yes.
sometimes that works out for you, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yep.
And then the birth, and then the infancy, and then the toddlerhood, and every single step of the way, there are intentions, and there are well laid plans, and there are what you're hoping for, and then there's what's going to happen.
Mm.
And you're right that there is a little bit of luck mixed in there. There's a lot of bit of preparation mixed in there. And then there's this understanding that this is actually there he's his own person.
Yes.
So whatever you think that you're going to like, oh, well, this is how I was thinking, would be best for him to be like, okay, sis, sit down,
Yeah.
because what you are is a shepherd, right? Like
This
you are
I
in
was just
charge.
saying this with his first word. And Matt was saying like he wants to say elephant. And he said, couldn't your mommy pick a dog or cat, something easier? And I said, I didn't pick this.
And that is just going to
This
keep
was
on.
his.
And I wanna just, I wanna just say about anyone who's been experiencing, like, any kind of shame, whether it be in pregnancy or postpartum or their birth story didn't go as they wanted or whatever, um, you didn't you didn't pick it.
You
You
didn't
did
pick
the very best with what you had to work with at that time, and there is nothing more admirable than just doing your very best.
Yeah. And your postpartum journey, like, every one of these things, it's such a weird, you know, as women, we are exposed to all of this messaging of like, we have to do this like this, or how in some way you failed. And we've been so conditioned in that way that if someone starts to share what it was like for them, we almost feel attacked that we didn't do that, that someone's saying like you did it wrong because you did it. So I'm like, I wanted to preface that with my story is just my story.
Just
Like,
that.
yeah, and my pregnancy is just what I was fortunate, not that I didn't have like pain and like things like that. It was fortunate for me that I was able to stay really active during my pregnancy. It was very stressful at the end that my body was kind of like holding on to baby, which it had a lot to do with like I had to stop working out towards the end with like heavy lifting things because too tight.
Mhm.
Everything's too tight. So it was like, how do I relax without people just telling me to relax?
That's
Like,
so effective.
um,
Have you tried
have
relaxing?
you tried relaxing? And it's every one of these stages because I think postpartum is the same thing. We see this bounce back culture is wild, and a lot of well-meaning people have said to me, you've already lost your baby weight and like all these things, or have you lost your weight? These questions were like, that is so insignificant to me. I have a human that I am sustaining like life for and trying to navigate. I don't give a shit what my body looks like post. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it like doesn't matter. And I think that I have so much empathy for women that are saying like, well, um I'm unhappy. I know you want me to just be happy that this body like birthed my child and carried life for my
But I
child, but
don't recognize it.
yeah, but I don't
That's really
recognize it.
hard.
Yeah. And at the same time, like I know, like I don't recognize my
Mhm.
body.
Mhm.
And in a different way too, that it's not just physical for me. I don't recognize how it moves. When I'm trying to work out and trying to brace, I am going to talk more about this, but like the recommended amount of rest postpartum being 6 weeks, I think that is essential. I know a lot of people have seen me work out very quickly like after, but I think that that's essential. You can feel if you push a little bit too hard, like you can feel. I have felt organ prolapse.
Yep.
Like it's not just like, oh, how quickly can you get back to working out? No, it's like, could you keep your organs in your body? Like,
Today.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Goal
in a good,
1,
yeah, like in a
or all organs in.
key and like moving into the right place because they're kind of like swimming or a little bit like swimming
Yeah.
around in there because there's been like this giant hole that has held a human and created a human. So it's just there's a lot of nuances to pregnancy, uh, birth, postpartum. And I think it's been an interesting experience for me personally and talking to other women of how much shame we feel around this incredible thing that you've done. Like a lot of half the population will never have the ability to do it. And more than that, will never have the ability to do it. And you've done this incredible thing. And somehow, as a society, we've found ways to insert shame on that experience.
Well,
And I
because it's
just,
an experience that only a woman can have.
that only a woman can have. And I really feel like that. And people have tried to use me to shame other women. And I'm feeling so like mad and passionate about that because like especially men will come up to me and be like, "Well, what are you doing? Because my wife hasn't worked out in a year." This guy said to me it was his sister-in-law hasn't worked out in a year since she's given birth. And it's like that's been enough time. And I was like, "Oh, you created life. You decided when enough time is." Because
Oh,
for me,
it's enough
yes,
time for you. For you, you've decided she can work out now.
what? And like you're not thinking about like the major hormone shifts. What is going on with breastfeeding, for example? Working out is really difficult breastfeeding. Your milk, it has it can drop
It
very
will d
easily.
yes, mhm. There is a risk factor
Yes.
when you drop body fat, inevitably, it is a signal to your milk to go.
To go.
Mhm.
And that is like, okay, so we have all this pressure to not only breastfeed, but also lose the baby weight. Those two things are in a direct adversary to each other. Like they don't work like that. They don't work like that. So like I'll notice like if I'm pushing too hard in workouts, like my milk goes down. That's not worth it for me
Right.
personally. And we all have to decide what is worth it for you personally. Because if you've decided like, well, that it's really important to me to kind of feel more in my own body and it's important for my mental health, my physical health, and I, don't want to continue breastfeeding, that's beautiful and a great decision for you too.
Also great. Mhm.
That's so like neither one. For me personally, I've decided that continuing to breastfeed my son for as long as I can is the most important thing for me. So I adjust accordingly. That means my workouts, a number of weeks have gone down, and the intensity that I have been able to output at the gym has had to go down. Like like the people encourage me to keep going, and I'm like, no, I'm taking a break. Um, because that I can't push that's not what's gonna be good for me right now.
It's only a pie.
It's only
There's
pie.
only so many slices.
Yeah, in the lower back pain. Well, can we talk
I
about
mean
your abs, diastasis, buzzword, right? Every single person who's been pregnant has had ab separation. It's not like some people have struggled with this and some people haven't. Your abs have to separate in order to make room for baby. So if you carried a baby in your body, you had diastasis. So like the pain that comes from like not being able to contract your core in a correct way because they haven't come back together causes back pain. So it's not like you're doing something wrong, but you just can't. Some people have come back faster than I have, and so this isn't a blanket thing. Lifting heavy has not been in the cards for me, especially when it comes to load bearing from a core perspective, like back squats. Like I literally am back squatting like 105. My max is like 250. Like I can't go more than that because I get pain. So I need to keep doing my pelvic floor breathing and exercises and the long list of other things that you do as a new mom. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, "Well, just do your pelvic floor exercises." Like,
Oh,
"Okay."
oh, okay. Just clear out some time in my schedule.
Okay, I haven't slept in 3 months. Like, I'll just add that to the list. Like, you're like, get real. Like, I just don't want it to be like, well, I should have prepared, but like, okay, you did the best that you could for that day. And also you were
Always.
like caring for your bleeding nipples.
There's that. I'm so over the moon, obviously thrilled to have been able to witness the amazingness of you, in this journey. It's so cool when you have the perspective. I think that this is something that you're definitely um now also sort of getting a feel for is like when you've done a thing and then you watch someone you really, really love also do the thing. It's like a level of joy and elation that like you can't really explain when they haven't yet done the thing, you try, but like, and so it's just been so inspiring. It's just been so wonderful every single step. And he is my most favorite. and you guys, you can get little glimpses if you follow Kelsey on Instagram. She's very good about, she do you like poop?
If you like poop, you can follow me on
If you like poop.
Listen, I've gotten a lot of people reach out and say, "Thank you for sharing the real parts of your journey."
Yes.
And I intend to do, more of that because I do think there's like just some value in being like, "Hey guys, like also like," but both of them are real, right? You can have these moments where you say like, "This is the most incredible thing ever. Like, look at this adorable baby, like amazing." Also, I'm covered in poop, and there's the struggles every person with their partner postpartum, where you try to figure out your new roles and like how we can avoid resentments and overworking one person, and like we schedule check-ins. It's on our calendar, it's on our skylight. Like, where you just can come in and say the things, and some of those things I feel like are part of that preparation, to to make it work, because like there's just so much new navigation that happens. And I know what you mean when you've done a hard thing and you watch someone do a hard thing, but I had the almost the opposite experience where like I got to watch my sisters, I got to watch Rachel do the hard thing and then just be in like total admiration of something I could not understand. And we've had other, podcasts of me talking about this where I've been like, momming, most intimidating thing. I do a lot of hard things. I generally don't shy away from difficult things. And that was one that was just like, well, only special people do that. Like,
top 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 1% type people, because like I don't know about that.
And I was very prior to any of that, I was very transparent about that. I was just like, well, guys, like, you guys are doing a different thing. But like I got to have the opportunity to watch you do it, and it almost created this sense of like, well, I couldn't do that. I'm not that organized. I'm not that like caring, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but like I just don't have that in me. But what I've learned about motherhood is that there isn't one way to do it.
No, that's
And
the
like,
best thing about it.
yeah, I mean, maybe my kid will talk about that in therapy one day.
Well, they're all gonna be talking about it in therapy, so
But
there's no
he'll
avoiding
be a
that.
man in therapy, so silver
That's a win.
lining.
Have we won? Yes,
You're
we've won.
welcome, ladies.
You're welcome, and you're welcome.
And he'll be learning the ABCs. C stands for consent. Like, we're raising some good men for this next generation. But I do feel that way, that like there isn't one way to do it. And I was like, there's no way I could do it the way these boss moms are doing it. I'm like the
And
running
that's
behind them being
true.
like, wait a minute, guys, like let me catch up. Like I'm not going to be the person who has the like schedule figured out, but I love him hard.
Does that count?
Does that count? I do my very best. I'm very present with him. Like, so maybe I'm not the most scheduled person in the world, but I try really hard and I love him the most. So I feel like that's a win. So I don't
And
know. I just feel like more moms need to hear that there's not this like one way to do it. You think that mom who has it all together and her house is clean. Like I'm not in a season where my house is clean all the time. I'm in a season where there's a lot of color. There's a lot of poop. And and that's okay. And it's a
that
beautiful season.
is
I've had clean
perfect.
house season.
I
That was
mean,
nice.
that was nice. That was cool. It was quiet. It was also, looking back, a little lonely.
It was just a season, right? Like,
Yeah.
this I had a lot of like good restful. I wake up. I'm gonna go have my
I'm ready to greet
espresso.
the
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Like I'm just gonna slowly wake up with my coffee. I've reheated my coffee 3 times and it's 10 a.m. That's the season.
Well, each
Cold coffee.
has their most amazing things, and the more that you can just be present and be in it to soak up what is amazing about that season is really the way to do it. And I'm very, very glad that you were open and willing to, because I do think these are the things that, whether you've had a baby, like it brings you back. It brings you back. Or whether you're not in that stage yet, but you might be, or somebody, it's just like all of these things are just so good to talk to your girlfriends about. Just like I personally have had some incredible doctors and experts and like cutting edge people in their field on the podcast over the past few months. And I will just say, for me, sitting down and having like my girl talk with my sister and all of my good friends is just really feels refreshing to me. So thank you for coming
So we're all
back.
just ladies out here doing our thing. But that
I
our hope by sharing though is right, like that we can all just share our own, we can share and hopefully that will empower someone else to live authentically in their life, in their journey. Maybe they share it. Like we're not all out here saying like do this my way. This is I'll share authentically because I want that to empower you to share authentically your journey because they're all amazing and they all have value out here. I don't
And the
know.
more that they are openly talked about, the more people can feel less alone. And
Yeah.
so that's everything. You guys go get your baby fill. Follow Kelsey on Instagram. I am so pleased to have you back. We are going to continue to have some amazing guests. And we are also going to sprinkle some new mom stuff in with Kelsey and I. So I
Not
hope
just new
you,
mom stuff, but every stage mom stuff
well,
because
he keeps on growing.
but you get the 8-year-old mom stuff. Have you seen the gifts where it's like when it's like, oh, I got past the worst part and it new moms and I got past the newborn part and then it's like moms of a 1-year-old, moms of a 3-year-old. You know what I mean? Like looking back being like, like from every stage just being like
Well,
because
they
we
just move the goalpost. They just keep moving the goalpost, and you just have to keep adjusting and
because we have a
shifting.
3-year-old in the home too, and man, that's a wild ride.
But it's all no, but it's the same as the seasons though. It's all good. It's all oh, shut up, Rachel. It's all really hard.
It's
Anyways.
all really hard.
Okay, you guys, we are welcoming back Kelsey. Go show her some love on the Instagram. Go see the world's most perfect head baby. And welcome to the world, Kobe Quinn.
Oh, thank you.
Love you.
Love you.